Hey, good morning, everybody. Tom Harness here with Harness Digital Marketing. This is your Harness, your Hump Day, a weekly Wednesday morning kind of little show, if you will, that kind of gives tips and hints on social media, marketing, business, organizations, anything that we kind of tie into digital. And today, you're in for a doozy. I'm kind of veering off a little bit. I will tie it into marketing, I promise. But I've had a lot of conversations about organizations lately, and I've decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just kind of talk about the elephant in the room with a lot of these. And I get a little frustrated. Some of my other fellow veterans get frustrated. Some of my other local community members and volunteers get frustrated. But today, I want to talk about the death of organizations. And I think, if anything, through the pandemic, we've really found out how they can survive and how they continue to grow. So today, first I want to give a disclaimer, okay? I am speaking from experience with a lot of nonprofits that I've worked with, set on boards. This is not directed towards any one group or organization. My comments and my feedback are a culmination of what I've seen collectively throughout the years that I've been involved. And you can take it for a grain of salt. I'm in no way, my intent is not to be malicious. My intent is to have a very real, raw conversation about organizations and what needs to be done because they are needed across many areas, and especially in Southern Illinois and the Delta region for that matter. So jumping right in. The first thing I want to talk about is membership and getting people involved, right? So one of the number one things I've seen from institutionalized organizations, meaning organizations that have been going on for years, decades, right, is there's no system in place to bring up the next group, right? The recruiting is not recruiting at the level of what people, what the next generation is wanting. It's still built on the level that people want you to, or to get involved with. A lot of veteran organizations are like this. There's a lot of assumptions, right? And when those assumptions are created into the perceptions of what people believe, and then it kind of just goes, whether it's fake or real or not, people don't want to get involved, the younger generation. I'm a Gen X. We've got millennials coming up, whether that's veterans, whether that's through health organizations, whether it's through community organizations, whether it's in politics. We're not doing a very good job of recruiting, right? We are recruiting at the level that we're at. We don't want to adapt, which we'll talk about that later. And that's a mistake. The next thing with membership and getting people involved is when you utilize resources like social media, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Use it to build the culture. Let people know what they're involved in. And you've got to use it consistently. If you're just doing it for one event, or you're just doing it when it's convenient, you're not utilizing the tools that you have through social media and other digital marketing options to really reach the audience. You got to have a strategy. This should be part of the communications director. If you have one, if you don't have one, you should get one, right? This person should help put the message out there about what the organization does, what you do, and how you're involved in the community. The other thing in membership and getting people involved is, you know what? Putting requests out there to get volunteers does a couple of things. It gets people involved, plus it markets and brands, and it plants the seed in people's minds about what you guys do. Whether or not they're involved or not, it's a marketing strategy, right? So if your fear is, oh my God, we can't put this out there forever, then what's your organization about? Most organizations are about the community and getting the community involved. That's the only reason I ever really want to get involved in an organization is I hope that it positively impacts veterans. And then I hope that it creates a bridge, or it connects the community with veterans or other organizations. I was on the Southern Illinois Wellness Board. That one, obviously going in, trying to be the veteran to try to connect with health. And as that grew and adapted, they had to change and make some changes as well, which we'll talk about. Not them, but change. So membership, you've got to make it different. If you have tips, please, those of you that are watching, please put them in here. But you've got to get the membership involved, and you've got to do it in a different way. And you got to let people know what they're getting involved in. The other thing is, they don't want to be involved in something that is all-encompassing. You know, one of the things I like about being in the American Legion is I made it very clear. I want to help support the declining enrollment involvement in Honor Guard. I want to consistently try to be there. Now, the last month, I've not been very consistent, and that bothers me. But I'm a part of a team, and that team is the one that makes that happen. So when you're recruiting, maybe give them specifics of where their needs or where their talents are best utilized. All right, number 2. Number 2, mission. It is time to update all your mission statements and get younger generation involved with that mission statement, because if they don't have involvement or commitment or dedication to that, you'll never get them in. Ask the next generation what they think the mission should be, and try to tie in the tradition, the long-time tradition, with this new updated mission. Now, I know some organizations are national. I'm sorry. Just tell them it's time to update. And there's so many of these organizations across the United States that are declining because there is no updated mission, or it's too complicated, right? So take a look at your mission statement. I learned about mission statements quite a lot, not only in the military, but in education. There's always mission statements when you're writing a grant, right? And keep it simple, but make sure that all your decisions go back to that mission statement, right? If there's discontent between the older generation and a younger generation, go back to the mission statement and use that as an olive branch to bring together and say, all right, here's our mission statement. How can we bring both these ideas in together to make them work? And the last one, change, change, change. I had a great conversation last night with one of my my team leaders in Team RWB, Team Southern Illinois Team RWB, about change. And it's funny because we talk about our relationship being love-hate, and it's really more of a love-hate. There's a little bit more love in there than hate. And there's not so much hate, but it's understanding where we both come from. And it took time, and it's still taking time. But the thing is that both our hearts in the right place, and we do things differently, and we help each other. So instead of stopping each other, we try to help each other. But this change that we talked about last night, he gave a great example, and I'm going to try to help you, okay? I'm going to try to do the best job I can to tell you this analogy that he gave me. I'm probably going to botch it. I'll make sure to tag him in here to make sure he comes back and corrects it maybe. But this is what he was telling me about. He talked about when he used to be a lifeguard. And he said back when we were our age, I'm 47, back when we were younger, the rules for lifeguarding were different than they are today. They used to be, if someone was drowning, you went in to the water, you went up to them, and you basically had to struggle with them, and they were flipping all over the place. And what was happening is they were dying, but also taking the lifeguard down with them. So the new policy that he was saying was now, today, you go out, you swim about, I don't know, an arm's length, just maybe 6 feet away, and you let them relax. You let them calmly talk to them, get them to relax, let them know you're there, and then you go and bring them in. And he said the survival rate increased drastically. So what does that mean? Well, what he was trying to tell me so eloquently is that what that means is that when we have organizations that struggle with change, sometimes we have to let them struggle before that change can happen. And then once the change happens, then you need to be consistent with it and understand that the survival rate after that is much greater once you make that change. It's hard because this was ingrained in people. No, we got to go out there and save them right away. And it makes sense. And when he was telling me, it's like, no, you go out there. Don't let them just, goes, but you have to understand the survival rate. And sometimes those of us that might be younger in an organization, sometimes those of us that might battle or be a catalyst, I'm a catalyst. When you bring me in, I am not a status quo person. I am going to shake things up. I'm going to try to push us forward with everybody in front, try to push forward to make that happen. But at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to make those changes, it's just not going to happen. So organizations, my final word is you need to look at your membership. And here's the thing, stop making excuses. They just don't want to get involved. This generation, blah, blah. No, take some ownership. Part of it is the people leading this, right? Who wants to lead a sinking ship, right? You don't. Nobody. No, I don't. I don't. And you have to have a good organizational leadership structure too. 2, update those mission statements like yesterday. And 3, embrace new technologies, change. I hope everybody got something out of today's the death of organizations. There's a lot of positive things that can happen. And honestly, some organizations will have to either merge with others, or they're going to have to fall off and other organizations will pick them up. But either way, support the organizations in your business. Find an organization that you want to be involved in. And if you want to be the catalyst, then be the catalyst and go in and help make the change. But be ready to swim upstream nonstop 24/7. It can be very, 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 very demanding. And also, don't be afraid to not be involved forever. Some organizations are just good to do for 3 to 5 years. That's my thing. I am not a lifer. I like to go and help for a little bit, and sometimes I go back. I was involved in Rotary, I left, and I plan to go back someday. I've found different interests. I've found different things that I like to be involved in, and I get asked to be on boards a lot most of the time, and a lot of times they're just not a good fit for me. But I always provide them other resources, other people, and I also give them the opportunity to let me know what they're looking for and how I can help. I never turn my back on organizations. I really try to continually try to help. It can get draining sometimes, but I try to never give up, right? Keep going forward. So I hope everybody's organizations are surviving and you learn some tips and some things that you can do. All right. So just a reminder, every Monday, Marketing Makeup Monday, Crystal Davis. She's got great tips and she's a barrel of fun. She's witty, she's crafty. And you can, if you missed her this Monday, you can go onto the Facebook playlist and check her out, all the previous and past ones. She is amazing. She has really taken off with the Marketing Makeup Monday. So support her and let her know that you are watching. Also, Stars and Stripes, our Facebook page that we have partnered with Dana Communications and Withers Broadcasting. If you haven't, right now we have our number one Memorial Day commercial out. So please check that out. And if you've heard it, let us know. We worked really hard. Kelly over at Withers has been great to work with, and I always get great sound recording advice from Todd Bryant in the Wake Up Zone. So there you go. Vince, good morning. I had the opportunity to work with Vince way back when our office was in Heron. And it's nice to see when some of the people you work with continue to grow, overcome obstacles, and continue to shine. And Vince is absolutely one of them. So Vince, I hope you're doing well and you are continuing your great success. All right, the other thing, we have events coming up. This Thursday, tomorrow, is the last of the Carterville Sunset Concert Series. Please check them out. They're every Thursday, 6 to 8 o'clock p.m. at the Cannon Park at the Carterville Community Center right behind. There are food trucks and music. Let's see what we got this week. We got the Jewels and food trucks, Great Boars of Fire, Caribbean Hut, and Sweet Shishkabob. Check those out. Next up, from May 15th to the 29th, you have the Catch Us If You Can virtual 5K. That is with the Southern Illinois Wellness. I have already completed my 5K. I walked. Michelle can check me off on that and continue to support Southern Illinois Wellness. If you haven't already, get out there and do your virtual 5K walk. Oh, one of my former students. Aw, good morning, Bree, and happy Hump Day to you. Go out there, make the world a better place, and make someone smile, okay? Last up, the FOB Rush GI Party. Brian Gibson over at Project Diehard, I've been letting everybody know, needs volunteers for cleanup and the weekend of Remembrance. July 26th to the 29th, open. If your organization wants to get some volunteer hours, you can reach out to Brian. I've got the link here. Brian, the FOB Rush GI Party is for a building to clean it up, to get it ready for veterans and their families that are struggling with PTSD and might be homeless or just transition and need some help. So it's a great organization. Their building is located in Carbondale, just south of Carbondale, close to McCanda. Okay. All right. That is it for Harness Your Hump Day. Thanks for joining us. And as always, if our business, our team at Harness Digital Marketing can hashtag turn the light bulb on for you, reach out to us. We would be happy to talk to you about your digital marketing needs. Have a wonderful day. Go out, make the world a better place, and peace be with each and every one of you.